Coach, tell us a little bit about this week and how we're doing entering in that first game.
Excited about this first game. Really ready to play an opponent. For 30 days we've been going against each other. We just walked off the practice field today. We've had some very spirited practices, and I say that from a standpoint that I am constantly trying to slow them down. As we've gone through 30 days, they are itching to get started. We've had pads on the last 2 days, which I've tried to put on them just to protect everybody because I'm trying to get this first game as healthy as possible. And so we've had some very spirited practices. Guys are into it. I think guys are ready to play. I'm excited to see what this team can become. We've talked a lot about every year you have a new football team, and we have some new faces, but we have some new personalities. We have new chemistry. We've got to continue to try and gel as a football team, and that is going to be a work in progress as we continue to go through this very shortened camp and very shortened season. But I think everybody's ready to get started. Tomorrow, we just try and polish some things up and go through all the certain situations, last play of the game, last play of the half, killing the clock, taking the knee, all the things that have to be done in order for that first game. But you just feel like you've had so little time to get your team ready. But here it is, ready or not, here it comes. We play in 2 days. So we'll have Friday. Tomorrow we'll be in shorts. We'll polish everything up. Like I said, talk about a lot of, things people don't think about. Pregame. What's pregame routine look like? Half our team's never been through it before. So we'll have to go through pregame routine, last second scenarios, on the clock, painting all that up. Saturday, we've got an early flight. We fly out of here about 8:45, get into DC, and get ready to play for a 3 o'clock game on Sunday. So really excited to get started and really ready to get this team, see what this team is going to become.
Sounds good, Coach. Okay, we're going to start with Chad.
Hey, Coach, Chad with Birmingham Sports here.
Yes,
With
sir.
almost a 50% new roster, just how beneficial is it for a team culture to have Stallions veterans like Marlon Williams and JoJo Tillery on the team?
Invaluable, really invaluable. As a matter of fact, there's just when you really find out the chemistry of your team is not when everything's going well. It's when you have adversity, and it's really hard to hit adverse situations when you're just going through camp. And so we're going to learn a lot about our team, but especially in this opening game, we may find ourselves down 14. We may be up 14. Where's the leadership going to come from? And you talk about guys like Marlon, guys like JoJo Tillery, CJ Marable, Ricky Persons has been back. The two quarterbacks have all been here. They've both been here. This is Alex's third year, and this is Matt's second year. So a lot of guys. You've got you have four retiring or returning faces on the offensive line. You got 3 running backs that are all back. All 3 of your tight ends have been back. You got a good nucleus with Deion Kane, Marlon Williams, Davion Davis is into his second year. Defensively, having Tazino back and creating AJ Thomas, having him back, Willie Yarborough, Carlos Davis, so many guys that we could talk about. Those are the guys that I'm really leaning on, especially as we get into this first game, because that's when we're really going to find out where our chemistry is and what our football team is going to look like.
Okay, we've got Ryan.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. How are you game planning for this game coming up with Reggie Barlow no longer being with the defenders and having Shannon come in and not really knowing too much about how he might game plan himself?
Well, the one thing that we've been looking at, really, when your coordinators stay the same, I think that's that for us, that I can't see them reinventing the wheel at this point. So we are pretty much we've continued game planning. They promoted the quarterback coach. The offensive coordinator stayed the same. The defensive coordinator stayed the same. I'm sure maybe he's going to have some wrinkles with his involvement in offense, but we've got to pretty much go on what we can see. Now, first games, you never know what you're going to get. You could get something totally different, and they could surprise us. You try and cross all your T's and cover your bases, but you got to prepare your football team really about 80% for you're pretty certain you're going to get. But then you also got to alert them that, you can't say, well, we've never seen that on film. Well, they've only had 8 months to put in something new. So there's a high likelihood that we're going to see some new wrinkles. and what they're doing. But I don't think it's necessarily over the change in the head coach as much as having the stability of the coordinators makes me feel a little bit more comfortable. I think if they had total new coordinators, we would be really trying to dig up some film and research the coordinators' backgrounds. But both coordinators were there last year, so we have an opportunity to really a full year of study on what we think we're going to get. Now, with Greg Williams on the defensive side of the ball, you never know what you're going to get. I think the one thing that's consistent about DC's defense and why they're one of the better defenses in the league, Greg has got 20 years of defense coordinator experience in the NFL. And what makes them so good is you don't know what you're going to get. You can't really target and say, well, they're going to be here, so this is what we're going to do to attack it. And what we're going to have to do as an offense, just really make sure that early in the game we're simple, we're solid, and we're not doing anything unsound, and that we're not trying to attack anything. We're trying to execute as a football team. And last year we had 10 plays of 11 plus yards, and we're really trying to stay out of those long yardage situations where he can dial up some of those different pressures and fronts and things that he likes to do from a front and coverage standpoint in third down situations.
Hey,
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, sir.
go ahead with your question. Steve Irvine, you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Hey, Skip. I just wondered, as a coach, especially in a league where you're not around these guys year round, is there a different level of sort of nerves of the unknown, not of opposition, but sort of the unknown of yourself going into an opener?
Yeah, I think that is a bigger concern for me than our opponent. Like I said, I think game plan wise, the opening games, you're really not trying to scheme somebody. You're not trying to attack. I mean, they've got as many new faces as we do, if not more. And so there's a lot of unknowns on that team. And so, it's not like you have 5 games of film to watch on this opponent, so you really know what you're attacking. I'm more concerned in this opening game with us. How do we play assignment wise, not blowing assignments, giving our players the opportunity to make the routine play and trying to make everything hard, trying to eliminate trying to eliminate lost yardage plays, trying to eliminate busted coverages where you're giving up big plays on defense, the unknown of how your team is going to respond when things go bad. Do they start howling at each other? Do we stop barking at each other? Or do we start picking each other up? How well are we going to work together as a team? And so I think you're hitting the nail on the head for me. We have so many new faces. I think before we can worry about our opponent, we got to make sure that we take care of our business. And I use that saying all the time, pick the ball up, throw it to first base. In opening games, you got to be able to make the routine play. If you can make the routine play and eliminate the catastrophic plays, the turnovers, the pick sixes, the big sacks, things along those lines, if you can eliminate that, you give yourself an opportunity to be in the game at the end of the game.
Brett, you want to go ahead and ask your question? You got to unmute. You're on mute still. There you go.
Hey, Coach, Brett with the Bottom Line. Curious to everything that's going on with the players union and the collective bargaining agreement. Have you sensed any distraction by some of the players on the team?
Yeah, there's been a lot talked about that, Brett, but really from an internal standpoint, I have not. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going on. That doesn't mean when they leave here, they don't have a meeting at 6:00 at night that I don't get to attend. You know what I mean? They may be very outspoken with it, but right now, I mean, the majority of these guys that I have been talking to really are, they're here to get film. That's why they're here. They're here to get film. They want to have the opportunity to keep playing. I think obviously player unions are important. I mean, there's certain things that I think are really important to our players, but I'm not part of those negotiations, but I have not sensed anything. I know even at the beginning of camp, there was a lot said about it. But I have not asked our players. I have not gone in and said, "Hey, what's going on with this union thing?" And when I looked at my job description, player union really wasn't very prevalent in my job description. So I have not been involved in that side of it, but have not sensed anything, have not gotten any kind of feedback or felt in any way, shape, or form that there is something looming on the horizon. They just want to play. They're here to get filmed. That's what they want to do. They want to play football. They want to play football. They're here for this league. It's what I've talked about, why I love this league. They're here for a reason. They want to get film. They want to have the opportunity to continue playing the game. I think, does everybody want more money, less games, shorter practices, more benefits? I think everybody does. I mean, I think the coaches may walk out, if that's what's on the table. But I think for everybody right now, this is what I have sensed is everybody's really excited to get started. Everybody's really excited to play. Everybody's excited to get out on the field and start to play against somebody else. These guys they're football players. That's why they're here. They love the game. And that's why they want to get on the field and play. So I have not, Steve, but I don't know that I'm the front line of defense there to be asking on where that whole thing is. But I have not sensed anything on our team at this point.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, thanks so much, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Stephanie, you want to go ahead and ask your question?
Yes, thank you. Stephanie Hardy of the Hardy Wrestling Podcast and BCP Plus. Coach Holtz, in your point of view, how has the city of Birmingham fed into the morale of the team as the season is set to start?
Well, that's probably I'll say it's difficult for me to answer being in Arlington. I follow social media and I see the excitement and the energy. I can tell you that Birmingham has benefited us. I can tell you how excited our players are to have the opportunity to get back to Birmingham and play. We've got a great fan base. We all want to see it grow. We're all hopeful as we get into year 4. Maybe the addition of Friday night games in the spring is going to be something that's going to really add to the atmosphere and the attendance. But the fans that we have are passionate. When you start talking about the Horsemen and Shirtless Wonders, Pyramid of Flesh, whatever it is, I don't know, the guys down there in the end zone, I think we've got a very passionate fan base. Our players love our fans. They love to have the opportunity to play at home. And I think it's a great relationship. I know how much I saw the city of Birmingham really come to life on game weekends, and people start coming into town and restaurants starting to get crowded, and there's that buzz, you know what I mean? Like it's football weekend. You only get so many of these. And I know for Birmingham, they have UAB that they get those 6 home games a year, but this is an opportunity to play 5 more professional football games in the city of Birmingham. And I know for me, when I was living there was a difference on game weekend and when we played away. And so right now I know that our players have talked about it. We've had some of, Brent asked the question earlier about some of the experience of the CJ Marables and JoJo Tillerys. Those guys have been very vocal about what an awesome experience it is to play at home. Like, we're going to DC this weekend. We haven't been there yet. It's going to be new for everybody, but I can tell you that our players have circled week 3, the first weekend we have the opportunity to get back in Birmingham to play on a Friday night in front of our home crowd. And I just want to see the attendance continue to grow, because the more people are there, the bigger the atmosphere, the more the energy, the more the city of Birmingham is going to benefit, the more we are going to benefit from a home field advantage. And I think Birmingham is really proud. We've talked a lot about there's only 8 teams that have the opportunity to call one of these spring leagues their own. There's a lot of teams right now that would love to have a spring league team in their town. But with Birmingham being one of the 8 fortunate ones, I know that there's a lot of pride there in bringing professional football to one of the biggest football states in the entire country, the state of Alabama. It's been really exciting for me to watch it grow.
Thank you, Coach.
I thought you were going to ask me a wrestling question, because I was going to have to go back to my younger days.
No, sir. Thank you.
Luke Miller, go ahead and ask your question.
Hey, Coach, just wondering if you have decided at this point on who might be the starting quarterback this weekend, or if we might see both Alex and Matt play.
I haven't. We haven't named. I'm still rolling them. I think they're both doing a really good job. I feel very comfortable with either one playing right now. I think obviously they both have a year under their belt. They've both started for us. They've both won for us. They're both very, very talented players. So I haven't. I've got to make that decision tomorrow. But even today, I'm rolling those guys about every 4 reps in the team. I think Case Cookus has done a phenomenal job coming in here. I really like that guy. I say that from a personality standpoint, from a talent standpoint. I told him when he came in here, I said, look, Case, I want to be real honest. I'm not looking for somebody to come in and compete. I can't tell you you're going to come in and get equal reps. I can't tell you, you're going to come in, it's a 100-yard race and they've started with a 60-yard head start, in the offense and gaining it. It's going to be very hard for me to get you competitive reps the closer we get to the season. And I've got to get those guys ready to play. And he said, Coach, I just want to come in. I want to be part of a team. I want to have a great experience. If I get that opportunity to play, I want to do everything I can to make the most of it, but I will play whatever role you need me to play. I think he's very talented. Every time he gets the opportunity to get some team reps, you can tell he's swimming a little bit. There's a lot of wheels still spinning. I called a play today. I called it very fast. And he was like, whoa, slow down. Like what was that? Formation, alignment, motion, protection, route, tag. And he was like, so as I say it slow, he's like, okay, there. Okay. All right. Yep. I got it now. Yep. I'm good. But I will tell you, right now, I don't think that you'll see Case. I think Case will be the third, but I'm not ready to relegate him to that role for the entire season. I think he continues to get better and better every time he gets more and more comfortable. And I feel very comfortable that if we were to get into a situation in week 2 or week 3, in a couple more weeks, I would feel like if Case Cookus had to play right now, that I would feel really comfortable that he is good enough to go in and win with. So I've been really impressed with him, but right now I'm still rolling those 2 quarterbacks and have not made a final decision at this point, but we'll make that announcement tomorrow.
Okay, we're going to let Oscar wrap up with Coach, and then we've got JoJo already on the line, so we'll go in with him next. So Oscar, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Heather. Hello, amigo.
Amigo.
How are you? The first question, you are a young guy with a lot of experience in football. Let me say like that.
Did you say a young guy with a lot of experience, or did you say an old guy with a lot of experience?
Young guy.
Okay, good. I
with
just
a lot of experience.
Did you hear that, JoJo? I just want to make sure that our players understood that. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
What means to you this new season?
This is making the decision to come back, for year 4. Once you make that decision and go, all right, we're doing it again. I'm very public about how much I love this league. I love these players. I love what the league stands for. I love the players that benefit from it. I excited. I always say I want to see this thing through. I want to see this team get back into Birmingham, whether it's individual ownership. That's important to me. And I have love the league, love the competition side, love the level of ball, the high level of professional sports, having your players 8 hours a day, 9 hours a day to go through everything. So for me, there's never been let's go do it again. It's always been like, heck yeah, I'm not ready to be done. I love this league. I'm passionate about coaching. As we keep saying, I love teaching. I love teaching and watching a football team come together, especially with all the new faces we have and some of the more experienced players that have been here, and gelling that team together and trying to bring them together and trying to put together on a product that can go out and be successful on the field. So I love my job, Oscar. I've never felt like I've gone to work a day in my life. I'm passionate passionate about it. I've got great young men to work with that are respectful, they're professional, and it's part of what brings me joy in doing this on a day-to-day basis. So never been a decision to say, you know what, do I really want to go back? It's like I feel blessed to have the opportunity to be here for another year.
Yeah, and finally, could you say some words to all the Mexican fans, Stallions fans here in Mexico and Latin America, please?
Well, let me start by thanking you, Oscar, for what you're giving the platform for Birmingham to be able to be exposed to so many people down, not only in Mexico, but to everybody that's on here around the country, around the state, around the Southwest, and around the state of Mexico. I mean, the country of Mexico. It's been phenomenal for us, and I love the global exposure that this league is receiving right now. And I can't thank you for all the exposure that you've given us down there, but to all the people in Mexico, definitely, we appreciate you following the Stallions. We appreciate your support. You need to send Oscar to a game in Birmingham so he gets that first-class experience to understand what this is all about in Birmingham and what the Stallions mean.
Okay, deal, coach. Thank you very much, my amigo. And we need to go into Matt Corral, the pronunciation.
Oh, you're asking me to roll an L, roll an R. I don't know that I'm ready to do that. I may get stuff all over my shirt if I try and say it that way.
Well, thank you all for asking questions of Coach. Coach, thank you so much. We're gonna bring JoJo in, and we'll let you go ahead and go and get some water and have a good rest of your week.
I appreciate it. Thank y'all for being here. Again, what I said a minute ago, the exposure that y'all give us, I can't thank you enough. And I'm just glad that we can do this to pass some great storylines and some great individual stories from players and teams and get this message out. So thank everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. JoJo, make sure you praise your head coach. Y'all have a great day.
Thanks, Coach.